welcome back to Maria and Joe. And go ahead, Joe.
Well, this is the time when we're going to talk a little bit about what attracts people to Las Vegas to begin with. And for
Perfect.
most of us, it's tourism.
All right.
So
And
we'll talk a
also,
little bit about how this tragedy affects tourism and actually just everyone that lives in Las Vegas at the moment. Because currently we all have to make a living. We all have jobs, and besides the doctors, the lawyers, the teachers, the dog catcher, and all city council, we have a big tourists coming in looking for that live entertainment, looking and some people say it's a place to lose money, but it's also a place you make friends and gather. There are more shows and more lights than anywhere in the world. How is this trauma, this tragedy, going to affect everyone making a living in Las Vegas?
well, that's right, Joe. But before Joe, before we go through that, can I introduce our guest first? And we have here,
Dr. Erica.
And Kiki.
and James. Go ahead and say hi to our viewers.
Hello, everyone. It's good to be here.
And
Alright.
James is actually one of the leader of all the artists and performers here in Las Vegas. And also we have Chanel on the phone as well.
Hello, hello.
Hello,
Hi,
Chanel.
Chanel.
Hi, Chanel.
And Chanel is the lady who owns Le Crystal Couture, that actually in the video on our Facebook. So they are here actually to support all the community and what's going on in Vegas right now. These five people right here, the two on the phone and three on the video and the camera right now, these are people who's working together to actually help our community. And James, go ahead, and I would like you to introduce to our viewers what you are doing to our community, sir.
What I am actually doing in the community,
Yes, sir.
well, what I do is I'm a music director for several country music tribute shows, and what those are presentations. We do concerts anywhere from 75 to 90-minute shows, and you could have tribute artists that would pay tribute to people such as Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers, Garth Brooks, Trisha Yearwood, any number of major artists. People love to come see these. They're not as expensive as going to see some of the major concerts, so they can come and see a major show. They can come see one of these productions. It's a ticketed show, or maybe two or three of them while they're having their vacation here in town. It just enhances the experience in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is the entertainment capital of the world, and people save money for a year or years at a time just to come here and enjoy themselves. So that's pretty much what I do. I'm in the middle of the entertainment industry as much as being band leader and music director for a lot of these shows. So that's what I do.
So you are saying, James, that it's pretty safe to say that you have a lot of family members or family friends that's on that tragedy on Sunday. Is that correct?
Well, I have friends. I didn't have family. I've got friends. There are a lot of country music fans here in Las Vegas, and I work with several of these country artists. Some of their kids, people that I work with, was at that show. Fortunately, those that I work with, no one was killed. One of the people that I work with, I do some of the major shows. Her next door neighbor, they had a young man, Quentin, in Henderson, and he passed away from one of the shots. And it's real close to home. And, these are people that they may not be blood family, but they're people that we work with and we're around with for years at a time, and they're like family. It's just not much different. When you're around people for 20 or 30 years and they have kids, something like this happens. And this a drummer that I work with all the time. he was at work, and he's got a 17-year-old daughter that was out there, and the mom was hovering over her. But that's fortunately they were okay. They didn't get hit, but yeah, I know a lot of folks that were involved. Even had
James,
Okay.
I really appreciate what you're doing to the community. Getting all these musicians. I'm being really sentimental right
Okay.
now because it's really hard. We can imagine imagine how many families actually cannot see their family members already, and it's just heartbreaking of what had happened to this country.
it is. I would like to send out some kudos also, like everyone has to our first responders. But one of the tribute artists that I'm associated with here in Las Vegas, Richard Hampton is his name, and Richard, you can actually find him, friend him on Facebook. He's a great guy. He's a Kenny Rogers tribute artist, and he was in the middle of it, and he was one of the folks that was putting people into his vehicle, and they were actually driving on the wrong side of the road on Las Vegas Boulevard, taking people to an ambulance that was parked there. And in fact, some of these people were critical, very, very critical. And he was one of the people, and those of us in the country community here in Vegas, we're really proud of him. And he just stayed calm and worked hard to help save lives, and he did that.
Well, send him our gratefulness to what he did.
He's a hero.
He's a hero,
Yeah.
and we salute him. Yeah. And Chanel, I also have Chanel over here.
Hello.
Hi, Chanel.
It's so sad what has happened and what has transpired. It has touched the whole nation and the whole world, really. This is the biggest mass shooting in U.S. history of modern day. And just to know that we can come together as a community. Of course, it's very tragic and it's very sad, and my condolences and sympathies go out to all the families and people directly affected and indirectly, because there's this kind of heightened sense of anxiety and fear. But at the end of the day, it's also showing us what we represent as Americans and coming together to help the community, the outpour of support and the outpouring of the sympathetic people coming through and helping, and the businesses too. They're leaders in the community, and they're pulling together and putting together events and funding and things that can help the victims and their families. And it's a beautiful thing to watch that part of humanity and to focus on that part of it and the healing and how we're coming together and realizing the very delicate link that we all have to each other, to the animals, to the earth, to the environment. And it's beautiful to see that people are remembering each other and each other's needs and each other, and being compassionate and sympathetic.
I love what you said. We all have a delicate link that
Yes.
connects us all. And that is so very true. It really is.
It is.
It's very true, Chanel. That's very true.
Besides this this tragedy that we are all going through right now, I know that, like what I said earlier in the first segment, this shouldn't define us as people here in Las Vegas and Las Vegas itself. Do you agree with me on that, James?
Oh, I'm sorry. Someone pushed past me over here.
I
I'm
said
sorry. Say it again.
I said this tragedy won't define us.
No, absolutely not. I'm one of the older guys here in town, and I went through 9/11, and I had to play on that very day. A lot of folks would think, how can a musician play on the day that those buildings came down? But the fact is, Las Vegas was a no-fly zone, and people were coming out. They didn't know what to do. They were so distraught, and it was our responsibility as the music community in Las Vegas to get on that stage and to talk to everyone, to tell everyone everything would be all right. When you have tragedies, doctors have to go to work. Police have to go to work.
Yes.
Musicians are here to serve. We're here to help people. We're not on this level where I'm at. We're not stars. We're human beings. we're here to help people, and that was our responsibility. This is the same type of a thing. It is our responsibility. If there's any way that in the music community we can help people, that is our responsibility, and that's what we do.
Great point. Great point.
Yes, absolutely. So kind of, they always say in Vegas, the show must go on.
The show,
And it
yes.
must.
And,
Yes,
you know,
and whatever mourning and whatever is going through in our minds and the minds in around the world about Las Vegas, we are still gonna be the same, and we
Yes.
still welcome the tourism industry.
everybody,
Oh,
yeah.
yes, we do. We, as Vegas, we will get through this.
Yeah,
Yes, we are
Yes,
strong.
absolutely.
We are strong.
right.
Yeah.
We're very resilient,
so.
and that's part of what Vegas represents is the escape from the stress, the escape from the sadness or anything that you may be dealing with back home, and coming here to just let go, let loose, and enjoy life, and remember what celebrating life is supposed to be like. And we want to continue to represent that even through past this tragedy, because that's what's going to help move people forward in healing and in helping heal their hearts and calm their anxieties and their fears, is moving forward and showing that we will not be destroyed. Our faith and our resilience as Americans will not be faltered by this. But it does, once again, we have to look at the positives as far as the hope and the kindness that people are showing towards each other. So try to focus on that part. And of course, still our sympathies go out to those mourning and those in pain from all this.
Right, because their lives change forever, regardless if ours
Exactly.
continues. Their lives, the victims, their families, their lives, they are changed forever.
Oh,
There were
absolutely.
mothers and
Exactly.
daughters, fathers, brothers, sisters, children. So, it's very sad and
Oh,
somber.
It's heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, James, thank you so much for being on this show, James. I will call you later, and thank you so much for bringing, all those kind words, those empowering words that you actually contribute to the show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on. It's been a pleasure. And from the music community, especially the country music community here, we are going to continue. We're going to move forward. It's a horrible, horrible tragedy.
Right.
This was an attack on our community, on our city, on our nation, and on the country music industry. And God bless everyone. We're going to move forward, and we're going to support each other, and we're going to make it through all of this. And I appreciate you guys once again, and I'll be talking to you later. Thanks so much.
God
Thank
bless
you,
James.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Well, we are still here, so we're gonna continue about what you guys think people should be doing on this kind of incident. You know what I mean? If you see, I know I kind of imagine and I can visualize how these people actually was thinking. They're rushing all over the place and they don't know what to do. What do you guys think if you're on that situation?
Well, I mean, knock on wood, I've never been in anything so tragic or near so tragic. But I mean, at that moment, I think it's just almost like a shock. You hear it and you see, the chaos of everybody running and trying to find safety. And I mean, like I said, I got 5 kids and they go to concerts all the time, and outdoor concerts and outdoor
And it's scary,
football
don't you
games.
feel? Yeah.
Absolutely,
It's really scary.
So,
Yeah, it
and I
is.
mean, I always tell them, I said, if you hear anything, just drop down to the ground. Don't try to, run, because
or
I just
anything.
feel like kind of, if it's just an open target out there, I mean, but again, I've never been in a situation, so I don't know, I just pray not to ever be in one.
Exactly.
But I think at that moment, I just can't imagine what runs through your mind. I mean, you try to find an exit. They were saying that a lot of the exits were closed, and they could not get out at that moment. That's why people were falling down and, stamping over each other.
People are saying also that there are shooters on the ground.
Yes,
That's what's being said right now. That's
Actually,
it.
me and my mother, we were driving past Mandalay Bay on the freeway when this was happening. I sometimes take Las Vegas Strip to drive down, and had we would have been in the line of fire. But once we got to SLS, we came downstairs after checking in, and we ran into this lady who was there with her friend, panic stricken. She had just come from the concert. She said that she was running in one direction and saw someone shooting, so they had to turn around and run in another direction, saw some other people shooting. So it's still not very clear as to exactly what happened, and I think they're still trying to piece it all together. And there's a lot of different eyewitness accounts that,
Oh yeah.
you know, still have to, the truth still will prevail, and it always will.
It will always will. You
I
know,
mean, there were multiple reports about shooters being on the ground. There were so many people that were saying the same thing.
Right.
That it was not just this man. It was. I mean, they
believe
did.
that.
They went
Well,
one way and
yeah.
then they had to go another way. They were just everywhere.
everywhere.
Well,
Yes.
they saw
Yes.
when they a lot of people were taking video of actually the Mandalay Bay, the windows, and they said they did not see the fire come out of there of the
The
assault
32nd
rabble.
floor, exactly.
And they said they
No.
would have seen that if it was constant.
Right.
For 10 minutes it was going, bullets
Yeah.
were flying.
I don't know, but it's so hard. I never, I held a gun before, but I was kind of thinking, Joe is actually in the military before. Oh, did you see the distance?
Well, actually, we talked about 911 earlier. I was actually serving in Saudi Arabia at the time, and found myself in Afghanistan shortly after, and understand about the stress, the post-traumatic stress that occurs after an event like this. It doesn't just happen in military. Obviously, civilians and cops, or even firemen, and all of us are affected in one way or another. It's how do we come together and cope with it? I think the importance is how do we cope with the issue and move on. And it's not easy. It's a hard
It's
thing
not,
to
yeah.
decide and do. But as a community, as a people, as a family, in one sense or another, we have to find a way to support, care about each other. We'll never forget. You're never going to forget what happened. But how do we deal with it? How do we deal with it?
How we heal, the shock and all these victims. How can they actually move on to that so that they will
Yeah.
come back? We want them to actually come back to Vegas with bitterness. But it's hard. It's not gonna. It probably is gonna happen, but it's gonna be a long time before they heal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want to thank the churches that have stepped up and actually had the prayer vigils,
Absolutely.
because in a time like this, there's nothing better than prayer.
That's right.
There's
Faith.
nothing better than prayer, and just letting, just really pressing into your faith, pressing into Jesus. It's nothing better than that, because tragedies like this should make you grow closer, because you got to have something to hold on to, and prayer works.
Yeah.
Prayer works.
The power of prayer. That's for sure.
Absolutely, amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yes, amen.
And I just want to mention, because you said what to do in certain tragedies like this. I grew up with a father who's big gun, activist. So I grew up around guns, shooting guns, and he's always said, if you're ever getting shot at, not necessarily from a higher position, because that's kind of a different situation, but directly getting shot at, you run in a zigzag away from the person to try to be a moving target so that it's harder to hit.
Oh, that's a
Right.
good. Yeah, that's
Now, see, that's some good information.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
information.
thank you, Chanel. That's
Thank you,
wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah. So, what do you think, Joe?
Well, no, that's absolutely right. I'm all for the Second Amendment and the right to own guns, but regardless if you are or not, everyone needs to be trained how to handle a
I
weapon
agree.
and how to defend yourself. If it's running zigzag, if it's tuck and roll, if it's running, if it's attacking or defending yourself. Every one of us needs to learn to have peace. Unfortunately, in the world, is kind of have a good defense or good offense, regardless. But we have to protect ourselves. We have to get proper training. And we have to treat one another with respect. And hopefully, we never have to go that route.
Right.
So you're right, prayer works, and even here in California, we're having our prayer vigils at our churches and other places,
Thank
and
you.
around the nation, and probably around the world. in
Around
some
the
places.
world,
Around the
actually.
world.
I
I love
know.
that.
Even Greece, they're doing, vigils. They're sending, their condolences and their love out to Las Vegas because really we are the capital,
Yes,
entertainment of the
yes,
world.
we are.
Yes.
And so many visitors come every day through that airport doors. So many from all over the place, Europe,
All over the world, yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
all
And we
over
have
the
to I just want to thank the world for just outpouring your love to our
Yeah.
wonderful city of Las Vegas.
Yes, I would
That's
like-
just so awesome.
Yes, and we, you are still welcome here, and we are here together as community, helping each others.
Our arms are open.
Yes,
to
our arms are-
everybody. Yeah.
Well, I would like. I know that you guys you should be asking yourself, did I actually help out something? And this is not for us. These people right here, it's not going towards us, but we would like to encourage everybody where to send their help. So it's gonna come up on the next segment.
Okay.
All right.